All right. So thank you everyone for joining. Like I said last time, it is Saturday morning in the US. It's Saturday in different parts of the country. So I really appreciate that all of you have decided to spend time with us. I want to make sure that today we have 1 hour packed full of content, right? It's not going to be decks. It's going to be something that we are going to build together. A lot of times, in fact, every single time, especially you're entering the field of data analytics, you want to create projects. You want to create something that you want to show to your employer. So today is going to be that session where we'll build something. You can take screenshots. You can even build upon that after this session. So with that, here is the agenda. Only 3 things. The first thing is going to be introduction. I'll go very quickly through the introduction. If you have seen me last week, you already know who I am, but I'm guessing that we have few more participants today. So I'll just spend a couple of minutes talking about me, as well as the amazing saasguru platform that has graciously accepted to host us today. The second is we're going to talk about dashboard components. Again, I'm not planning to do slides about every components, because I feel like we learn more when we see someone else perform these, but I want to set the context about what it requires to build a dashboard. And that is true for every platform, not even, not CRM. It's literally for Tableau, Power BI, every single thing. And then the final thing is going to be hands-on. So follow along if you can. There should be a link in the chat for the Trailhead org, which is the developer org. So make sure that you sign up for it, because it takes about 10 minutes for the email to arrive. And if it doesn't arrive, fine, just watch the video today. The video will be made available. Again, I'm always available on Slack. So if you get stuck on any step that I'm doing, we can handle it later. All right. So who am I? So I am Sujay Nadkarni. I work at Salesforce. I'm a technical architect here. I have 19 Salesforce certification. Hopefully I get 5 to 10 more certs this year. And as you can see, I'm very passionate about this technology. I feel like I work at Salesforce, but really my experience is cross-functional, meaning I help enterprise organizations with not just Salesforce, with their entire enterprise strategy, right? So building their roadmaps, helping them digitally transform their entire IT system, right? Because again, IT systems today are archaic. You have people using non-cloud tools, and data is everywhere. So that's where my expertise is, like understanding the customer's requirements and building a tool that is tangible, that is something that they understand and has immediate values. My life motto is success is about consistency, right? You work hard, you're not going to be successful next day. So I'm a man of routines. I do things every single day, and those have reaped benefits. So that's something that I truly am passionate about. My mission, if someone asks me, Sujay, what do you want to do? I love what I do. I love Salesforce, I love data, but I am also on a mission to help students enter tech. The reason being is when I talk to students, everybody is scared of tech. They are like, oh my God, do I have to learn data structures, and do I have to learn, lists and tuples and Python? And, it sounds very daunting. How do I enter tech? And that's where I come in, because I want to tell people that it sounds daunting. It's like learning a new language, but once you get a hang of it, there's nothing more beautiful than learning tech. I post daily content. I'm very active on LinkedIn. So feel free to connect with me on LinkedIn. This is my personal email address. So if you have any questions, send me an email. I'm also very active on the Slack community for saasguru. So make sure if you have any questions, always ping me. I post daily content, like literally daily content on Salesforce and Analytics on Instagram, as well as YouTube. And they are, coding tricks and tips and how to get your job and things like that. So if you are a fan of short form content and want to learn something, 15 seconds, please feel free to follow me. My handles are the Nadcoder. I know it's hard to pronounce, but it's the Nadcoder. All right. So now let's talk about saasguru. Saasguru, I actually love saasguru. And firstly, before I say thank you to you, I want to say thank you to saasguru for allowing this session to happen. If you don't know what saasguru is, it's an amazing platform where you can really supercharge your Salesforce career. Every training or every course that you sign up for, you get access to world-class training materials. I'm a fan of flashcards because I really cannot read long text. So I love flashcards. So you get flashcards. You also get access to their mock tests, okay, which is absolutely amazing because you don't want to go into the exam only relying on flashcards or things that you've learned. You actually want to have some experience practicing, on real world simulated tests. So that's what saasguru offers you. They have benchmarks, which is absolutely critical because when you give your exam, I want to make an honest confession, is I have failed Salesforce exams, right? And when I've failed Salesforce exams, there is, it'll tell you where you have failed, which areas you need to study for. saasguru actually does that for you even before you give the exam. So you don't fail, your exam, okay, here's the thing that I'm struggling with. You can go and study those things. So it sets up those benchmarks for you, helping you to be successful. And finally, a lot of times when you are starting something new, you might be starting Salesforce, something that you've never seen before, and you want access to other people who are in the Salesforce ecosystem, other people who have already passed the Salesforce exam. You want to talk to experts, and saasguru has an amazing Slack community. They have over 13,000 students with so many Slack channels. There's actually a Slack channel called Open Jobs, where people post open jobs, right? So it's, you enter the Slack community and you find out that how helpful the Salesforce ecosystem is. Akshay, if you can put this Slack link in the chat, then people please click on it and join the Slack link. It's really, like I said, it's fabulous. It just ask any questions. I've seen people ask questions, and gurus or someone else who's done that or who solved that in the past will be there to answer your questions. saasguru and Slack demo. I will quickly log into saasguru. All right. So when you come into saasguru, it'll ask you to sign in. So once you sign in, you can go here to my dashboard, and you can use your social logins. Like I use my Google to sign in. So once you go here and you click on my dashboard, this portal opens up. There's a Slack community here. So you can simply click on that, or you can click on the link that Akshay just posted in the chat. There are live classes. So if you are interested, not just in my live classes, but other mentors, other gurus' live classes, you can simply click on that, and then you can, sign up for their live classes as well. There is also a Mentor Connect. So when you click on Mentor Connect, let's say if I click here, there are a lot of gurus here who are available to help. In my case, you can simply go here, click on Sujay. Don't know why it did not work. Let's try again. Okay, Sujay, this is me. You can simply click on Connect. The first 15 minutes are absolutely free, right? So feel free to connect with me. Take advantage of this. This is something that I did not have when I was entering the ecosystem, right? Even if you don't have questions, you just want to stop by, say hello, introduce yourself, completely okay with me, right? So use these 15 minutes, let's connect and chat about Salesforce. All right, now let's open up the deck really quickly. Okay, so this is what you will be building today. All right, the dashboard that you're seeing, this is a sales dashboard. This is something that every single organization will ask you, like, how do I build a sales dashboard? Because that's what every organization is tracking, right? Every organization is tracking about what is my revenue, which products are selling, show me the trend, things like that. Especially in this economy where you're seeing that the economy is soft, what do you think every organization is tracking? They are thinking about, tell me which product is making money, what does my revenue look like, and so on. So that's what we're going to build. Because again, when you sign up as a data analyst, business analyst, Salesforce analyst, this is going to be your number one question for the rest of your life. Like I've been in the ecosystem for 10 years. This is something that I still get asked on. So that's what we're going to build. All right. Now, 3 components that you need to build a dashboard. Just remember this, take a picture of this, because this is something that is true for every single business intelligence tool. And after this, we'll start building our dashboard. So to build a dashboard, what do you need? Dashboard is just a user interface that shows bar charts, line charts, and so on. So the first thing that you need is data sets. You need to have data, and that data can come from anywhere. The data could be in Salesforce. The data could be coming from external sources, most likely from external sources like SAP, SQL, Siebel, CSVs, right? So these are your data sets. And data sets, what are data sets? Data sets are like your Excel spreadsheets, it's tables with rows and columns. That's the simple definition of your data sets. The next thing that you do is your data sets have what? They have millions of rows, 10 millions of rows. I mean, think about Amazon, right? They have, I've heard they have 350 million products or something, right? Just think about the scale that it has. Nobody has time to find information row by row. So what do? You aggregate that data. What do you mean by aggregate by data? You say, give me sum of, total revenue, total quantity of my iPhone sold, right? Total quantity, total cups of coffee I had, whatever, right? So you're aggregating that data. You want filtered views, right? Filtered views is you want to be able to say, show me sales for 2021, 2022, 2023. You don't want to see sales for last 20 years, right? Because that's not relevant. And then finally, visualization. Again, you can filter this, but how do you show it in a way that anybody can understand? And when I say anybody can understand, you should be able to take that dashboard, show it to, like a 10-year-old kid, or show it to your mom, and they should be able to understand. That's the ideal state that you want, right? Where everybody understands the data and you don't really have to explain what is going on. And that's what we are going to strive today. If you have not signed up, these are the links. So this is the personal demo org that you will be signing up for. So I'll just give you guys just a couple of minutes and I'll monitor the chat. It's 9:14 right now on my side. Let's just give a couple of minutes for all of you to sign up. And once you sign up, please also go here and I'll also put this in chat. Can I use SQL here too? Yes, absolutely. You can use SQL. All right. So I've put this data set in the chat, and what you need to do is, let's go here. Well, let me close this out. All right. So this is a Superstore data set. So simply go here. You may have to log in. Again, social logins like Gmail, Facebook will work. Go here and click on download dataset. When you click on download datasets, you can simply click on save, and it's a zip file. So yeah, that's it. Just unzip it and you will have a CSV file. Any questions so far? I'm monitoring the chat window. Let's just give us one more minute. Is it a Kaggle dataset? Yes, it's a Kaggle dataset. So I am going to start building this, and then you can, if you have questions, to refresh this. If you have any questions, please feel free to enter that in the chat window. All right. So one question from Sai Chandra: is Salesforce the right option for students? Yes, it is the right option. But if you want to expand on that question, I'll be happy to answer that question. All right. So when you log into Salesforce, if you have never used CRM Analytics, you see this, or if you're not even used Salesforce, this is your app. It looks like a waffle, which has, a few dots. When you click on this, you get several options. What we want to do is we want to build a dashboard. So we are going to build a dashboard by simply clicking on Analytics Studio. When I click on this, it opens a new tab. Okay. When it opens a new tab, the first thing that I said is a dashboard, we need a dataset. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on create, click on dataset, and I'm going to actually move this here. And give me 1 second. Superstore. Okay. So so now I have this thing where Salesforce will ask me, what kind of data set do you want to use? Like I said, there are several forms of data sets that you can use. You can use a CSV file, which in this case we are going to use because that's the simplest form, and we can create a dashboard very, very quickly in the next 45 minutes. You can also bring in data from Salesforce, right? So you can bring in data from accounts, opportunities, leads, custom objects, all these things. You can bring in data from external data sources, right? Like your data warehouses, database services, like Omji said, can I use SQL? Absolutely. You can do that as well. Or you can create your own data sets. Now, this is your ETL transformation, which we are going to cover 2 weeks from today. So if you are interested in how do I bring in data from Salesforce and CSV and Snowflake, and join that data together to create my data set. That's something that we're going to cover 2 weeks from now. But for today's video or today's session, let's click on CSV file. And then the CSV that you just downloaded, all I'm going to do is I'm going to simply drag and drop it here, right? Doesn't get easier than this. And then I'm just going to leave it here. And then I'm going to click on next. I'm going to use default options for now. I'm going to click on next. Now, when I click on next, I get this, right? This is just a preview of what the data looks like. So I can simply eyeball it and I can say, okay, this row ID, order date, ship date, and so on. I can also click on this. When I click on this, it gives me a field type, which is dimension, measure, date. If you don't know what dimension is a text value, right? Something that you can group by. A measure is a number. You're measuring something, right? Which is like your quantity, your revenue, your sales, and so on. And dates are dates. So this is the simplest definition. Now, in this case, postal code, it is a number, right? Usually our postal codes are number, but you don't say sum of postal codes. You don't really add 2 postal codes that gives you a new postal code. It is like a text information. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go here and I'm going to call it a dimension, because that's the right thing to do, right? Because what we might say is, tell me how many people or how many products were sold in this particular zip code. That makes more sense. So I'm going to go here and I'm going to click on upload file. And let's give it just a couple of minutes. And I'm monitoring chat. No questions so far. So it looks like we are in a good shape. And I've already uploaded this. So if it just takes time, I might skip this actually. Okay. All right. So the data set has now been created. Awesome. Like there you go. It's called sample superstore. All right. The next thing that we need for a dashboard is, Shubham, we haven't covered a lot. We are just getting started. We'll now start building a dashboard. So the first thing that we did in the session today was bringing in the data set. So if we use the Kaggle link to download a data set, and I logged into Salesforce. Yeah, Akshay has just sent a link. So when you click on that link, it will give you your personal Salesforce instance where you can start creating all these things. So you can go here, click on create, and I can click on data set, and then I can use CSV file, and then I drag and drop it. That's all we covered so far. All right. Now the next thing that we're going to do is we are actually going to start creating a dashboard. Okay. So now let's go here and I'm going to create a dashboard. So when I create a dashboard, I can create a blank one, or I can create a dashboard from template. We want to start from scratch. So we can click on blank dashboard. The first thing that I want to do is I want to save this dashboard, because very often what I tend to do, and I'm sure you guys have done it as well, your laptop says, hey, there's an update to be made, and closes thing. So I don't want to lose my work. And what I usually do is I'll simply go here, click on save, and I'm going to give this a name. So I'm going to say saasguru sales dashboard. And let's remove this text. And then it's always good to add a description, especially when you are starting off, because your code might be looked at by other folks, other people. So you want to tell them what this dashboard is all about. So we're going to say in this dashboard, we are going to admit to have 4 KPIs. One is product category distribution. Second is product subcategory sales. Third is year-over-year growth. This, by the way, is something that every organization is interested. They want to understand, have we increased our sales compared to previous year, or has our sales dropped? And then finally, we'll just do a time trend. All right. And then we'll keep my private app. This is more on security. Let me know if you have any questions on this. I can send you some documentation, but really private app is something that is only for you. So when you're starting your development, do things in my private app and then make it available so you can have like shared app and so on. So yeah, then that way you can make it available once you've thoroughly tested your code. But for today, let's just keep it in my private app. So I'm going to click on save. Okay. Now this is your canvas, right? Think of it as your painting canvas. And on that painting canvas, you're now going to start drawing things. The second thing that I said was we need a query. But before that, let's start to make this look a little nicer. So what I'm going to do is on my left-hand side of the screen, okay, on my left-hand side of the screen, I see all these different components, okay, that I can simply drag and drop it here. So I can drag a table, I can drag a chart, I can drag a text, I can drag an image, and so on and so forth. Now remember, there is no data in there because remember what I said, the second thing that we require for building a dashboard is you need a query. So for now, I'm simply going to delete this because I want to make my dashboard look nice. So I'm going to add this, the square with an arrow, and this is called a container. So let's make this bigger. And what is a container? Container is like just a container. Like it really contains the elements on. You can put multiple things on this container. You can also put it on these things, but with container you get like a different color and so on. And you'll see that when I preview it. So now when I do this, let's preview it, and there you go. So far we have built this, and we have this. Now, if you remember what was there in the PowerPoint, here we had a text. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to search for this ABC, which is text information. Simply going to drag and drop it here. And then this panel opens up. It says add text. So I'm going to just erase this, and I'm going to say my first sales dashboard. Okay. And then let's make it, I don't know, 40. And then let's resize this. This is something that is very straightforward. I'm guessing all of us know how to do that. My first sales dashboard. Should I not entered D? Okay. My first sales dashboard. Now I can align it and so on. Okay. I'm going to click on save again, just so that I have this information. And I'm going to click on preview. So far looks good. Any questions? Pradeep, I see your question. But I will answer your questions. It's not specific to analytics. So I'll answer your question in just a few minutes. All right. No questions so far. Great. Now let's start building some charts. So the first thing that I want to do is I want the product distribution. Sorry, Deborah, is there anything that you want me to slow down on? There's also going to be YouTube video. Okay, I will try to go a bit slow. So are we clear so far? We haven't done a lot. Yes, you will have access to the recording. Yes. Awesome. All right. I'll try to go slower. Now what we need is we need product distribution. So for product distribution, what I'm going to do is, you see this chart here. So I'm going to simply drag and drop this chart here. All right. And I'm going to just resize this. So I'm going to drag these corners and I'm going to make it bigger. And I'm going to click on this chart because there's no information here. So when I click on this chart, it says, what do you want to do? There is no data here. Can you tell me what query I need to show you? So I'm going to click on sample superstore. This is the data set that we just uploaded and CRM Analytics can see it. So I'm using this. I'm going to give this a name. So I'm going to say distribution by product category. Okay. The next thing is I want sum of sales. Okay. And I want it by category. So I'm going to simply type category here. All right. I have this information here. So again, what I did was I gave this query a name. In the bar length, this is going to be your sum of sales. And again, there are different functions here, but because we want product distribution, we want to see what percentage of sales comes from technology, what percentage of sales comes from office supplies. We are going to click on sales. Okay. Then we want to group it by product category. So I'm going to select category here. All right. And now I don't like this chart. I want a different chart. So I'm going to simply click on this button, which says charts. Let me actually even zoom this a little bit so you guys can see it better. Okay, so now I've clicked on it, and then let's scroll down. There are different kinds of charts here. Okay, so I'm going to click on the donut chart. Now, when I click on the donut chart, I get this information. This is amazing. So I'm going to click on done, and there you go. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to make this look nicer. So I'm going to say, first give it a name, product. Let's do sales by product category. Okay. And again, this panel is activated when this is clicked. When this chart is clicked, you will see this panel, and inside that panel, there's a tab called widget. Enter your title, which says sales by product category. Title font size, let's just make it 20. That way it's bigger. And then we can scroll down. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on tooltip. Actually, hold on. Let's click on donut chart. So when I click on donut chart, I have different options. So I can see compact number. In this case, I can see 742K, 719K, 836K, and so on. But I can also click on percentage. So when I click on percentage, what it tells me is my total sales is $2.3 million. Okay. And furniture, which is blue, is 32.3% of $2.3 million. And this is something that business leaders usually want to understand. Okay. What else? So this is good. Legend is good. We need that. So far we are good with one chart. Let's do this again. Now I'm going to click this chart. If you want, a recap of what we did, we're going to do something very, very similar. So again, I am going to click on this chart. I'm going to drag and drop it here. I can drop it here because this area has already been taken, and you can see that there's a red square here. So I'm going to move it right next to it, and I'm going to leave my mouse, and there you go. And I am going to expand this. This time, what I want is I want sales. I want actual numbers for product categories. So I'm going to click on chart. And again, I want sum of sales. So I'm going to click on sum of sales. My bars is going to be subcategory. Okay, so I have this information. Now I'm going to click here, sales by subcategory. And now, do you see this? This is not arranged in any order, right? I see accessories. I mean, this is arranged in an ascending order of its name. But really what I want is I want the product that sells the most, which in this case is phones, to be listed on top. And the product that sells the least, which is fasteners, to be listed at the bottom. So what I can simply do is I can simply go on sum of sales, and I can click on this. And when I click on this, it arranges everything in a descending order. So now when a sales leader comes in, the sales leader can quickly see, okay, my phone is the product that sells the most, followed by chairs, and the least product, the product that sells the least is going to be the fasteners. This is great. So now all I'm going to do is, again, I'm going to click on done. Okay. Now, just like before, I am going to give it a title. So I'm going to say sales by subcategory, and then change this to 20. Okay. Now let's make this chart nicer. When I say let's make this chart nicer, sum of sales in blue, this legend is unnecessary because I know this is sum of sales. In fact, it is also in the title where I say it's sales by category. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to scroll down. This is called a legend, which helps you to understand what this blue color means. So I'm going to go to legend, and I'm going to say, do not show me that legend. Now I can see this information. Now the other thing is, again, the title is pretty self-descriptive. It says sales by subcategory. I have sum of sales, I have subcategory. Why do I even need this? So I'm going to go to y-axis, and I'm going to say, actually, hold on, show title. I'm going to remove this, and I'm going to go to x-axis, and I'm going to remove show title. Now this looks much better. This is very clear to our leaders that this is the subcategory and this is phones. Dina, what is subcategory? Subcategory, okay, let's actually click on save. And let's click on preview. Let's click on this particular category. Now, when I click on category and click on furniture, this is my product category. This is the parent product category. And under furnitures, chairs, tables, bookcases, furnishings, these are my subcategory. So instead of calling all these things, you're subcategorizing a particular product. You're saying, okay, these type of products belong to furniture, but what is that product? That product is a chair, table, bookcase, or furnishings. Similarly, if I click on something else, for example, office supplies, there are different kinds of office supplies, and that is what subcategory means. I hope that is clear. All right. I'm sorry, it was Navneesh. Sorry, Navneesh. Okay. Perfect. Now, what we need is the year-over-year growth. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drag and drop this table. So I'm going to drag and drop this table. Again, I can drop it here because this information has been, this area is taken over. Cannot drop it here. So I'm going to drop it here. Okay. And I'm going to resize this. And now I'm going to click on table. Now, if you don't remember what a year-over-year growth is, let me show you. This is what we are aiming for. Okay, so it's like a pivot table. That's why we entered a table widget in there. Okay, so let's go back. Now I'm going to click on, again, people who missed it, simply drag and drop this table widget here and now click on table. Okay, now when you click on table, you don't need this chart, and this chart is here. What we need is, can you please tell again from where you started to create this dashboard in analytics? Yes, when you go to Analytics Studio, you click on create and you click on dashboard. And once you click on dashboard, you will click on create blank dashboard and the canvas will open. All right, so let's go back. We have this widget. I'm going to click on table. There are multiple options here. We are not even going to get into this option because this is more advanced option. This is where you start writing code. And then the advantage of using Salesforce or CRM is you can do a lot of these things without writing a single line of code. Now, what we need is a pivot table, or what we call a compare table. So I'm going to simply click on this table mode, and I have these three options. I have a values table, a compare table, and a pivot table. I'm going to use compare table, and I want to show you how powerful this is. Okay, so I'm going to click here. And now the first thing that I want to do is I want to create groups. So I'm going to say category. Nitish, analytics it does not need to be installed from App Exchange. There's a separate Trailhead org that you need to sign up. It should be in the chat. All right. So the group by is category. Then what I want is I want ship date. Okay. Because now if you're wondering why do we need a ship date, is because we are doing year over year calculation. So I'm going to go here and select ship year. And what does this tell me? It simply says furniture, and let's change this actually to sum of sales. Okay. This will be very clear. So what this is saying is furniture in 2014, the total number of sale was 153,000. 2015, the sale was 174,000. 2016, the sale was 197,000. 2017, 213,000. Office supplies, again, every year it's telling us what the sale is. So far we are clear? All right. Now the next thing is we want year over year sales, right? So we want to understand, okay, what is the difference? How much growth did we get between 2015 and 2014? Okay. In fact, in office supplies, you actually saw 2014, they sold $146,000 worth of office supplies. And in 2015, they sold $140,000 worth of office supplies. So we want to understand what is the percentage depreciation, what is the percentage decrease in that sale. So we don't have time to do this mathematically. We don't have time to do this every time someone asks this. So we're going to use a smarter way of doing this using formulas. So here you have columns. We want to definitely add a column here. And I'm going to click on plus. And I'm going to click on add formula. Okay. And then I'm going to go here and I want, there are already formulas that are pre-made, right? And these are very, very common formulas that every organization will ask. So for example, in this case, we want period over period. So I'm going to click on period over period. And this is it, year over year change. I can also do a difference, a unit change, but I'm going to use percentage change. And then I'm going to click on apply. And there you go, right? I can see the difference in percentage. So in 2015, we sold 13% more than 2014. In 2015, for office supplies, we sold less by 3.67%. And remember, we did not write a single line of code. Everything was done using clicks. Now, the next thing to remember is, look at this title. It says A minus some A over something, right? It's happening because CRM has actually written code behind the scenes. But that code doesn't make any sense to me. So I'm simply going to go here and going to write year over year. Year over year. All right. And now I am going to click on apply. And let's change this as well. Do year over year. And I'm going to click on done. Okay. Now look at this. I don't like the spacing. Look at this. There's entire white space available here. So I'm going to now click on this widget and I am going to click on spacing. And this says fit to data. I'm going to say fit to widget. And there you go. I have this information. Okay. Awesome. Now the final thing, actually, let me see if I can show you one more thing here, which is the conditional formatting. So in this case, the conditional formatting could be you want to bring attention to your users when the sale drops, right? For example, the sale was lower here. So you can actually click on this formatting, and this is like a paint brush. You can click here. You can click on conditional formatting and you can start adding rules here. So you can say for year over year, anything that is, let's say, less than 0, we're going to make it text color of red and click on apply. And there you go. So what this meant is anything that is negative, that's what we did. Anything that is negative is going to be in red. Okay. So this brings attention to your leaders when they're looking at a dashboard. There's again a lot of data to be consumed, but let's say they look at it, wait, hold on, 2018, the drop is 98.66. Although I personally think that the data is incomplete, because if you look, the pattern is really clear that we don't have enough data for 2018. But it helps to bring attention to data. So that's one more thing. Now let's create a timeline chart. This is going to be the final chart. We still have 20 minutes. So I want to maybe take another 5 minutes and show you how to create a mobile version of this. But before I do that, I'm going to click on save, click on save. Now I'm going to drag and drop this chart again. We've seen this multiple times, and I am going to make this, expand this. I'm going to click on this chart and I'm going to call it timeline chart. Okay. What do I want? I want sum of sales. Actually, let's do sum of quantity just for fun, because we've done everything using sales. Bars, I want timeline, which means I want time to be on my x-axis. So I'm going to go click on ship date, and I'm going to click on year. Let's do year month. Now, when I do this, this is my default chart, right? So I want to change this into a timeline chart. I can click on this timeline chart and I can choose this chart, but we live in a world of AI, right? Where things are recommended to us. So I'm going to click on suggested charts. And when I click on suggested charts, it gives me different kinds of charts. Look at this, right? So I am actually going to choose this particular chart. And there you go. My timeline chart is built. And let's click on done. And my timeline chart is built. I'm going to click on save, save. And now let's preview everything that you have done. So let's click on preview. There you go. Here's your beautiful first sales dashboard. By the way, we did not write a single line of code to build this dashboard. And we built this dashboard in less than 30 minutes, right? This is your first sales dashboard. And it is very informative because anywhere you click, the data is going to be pre-filtered. So let's say if I click on technology, when I click on technology, all these charts are going to get filtered. So as a technology leader, as a technology product manager, that person can come in and simply click on technology, and they see, okay, within technology, my phones have made X amount of sales, machines have sold 189,000, accessories 167,000, and so on. For technology, that person can also see year over year growth. For technology, that person can also see what the trends look like for his particular sale. Okay. Similar thing applies for office supplies, and similar things applies for furniture as well. I can do the exact same thing anywhere else. Like for example, I can click on furnishings. When I click on furnishings, the data is going to get filtered. And this is really, really powerful when somebody is looking at data, because when you're looking at data, you have a lot of questions and you want to see something that happened, for furniture for a particular year. So you can click around and everything around that starts to filter accordingly. I'm going to take a 1 minute breather. I think I've missed some questions. So Aniket has a question on, is there any difference between normal dashboard tab and dashboards in Analytics Studio? Yes, the normal dashboard tab in Salesforce can bring in data only and only from Salesforce. In Analytics Studio, you can bring data from Salesforce, SQL, SAP, Oracle, really any data source, plus it has the ETL capabilities. So you can transform that data. And again, that's going to be part of our 4th session. It also has machine learning capabilities. So you can actually build regression classification kind of models in CRMA, which a regular reporting and dashboard tool will not have. Is there any difference between this and Google Data Studio? I am not familiar with Google Data Studio, so I will not be able to answer that question. Jalpa has a question, how would we subgroup categories, like showing all types of furniture under furniture category? Let's take that question towards the end. I think I know what you're talking about. You just have to create another group. Let's quickly complete the mobile version of this, and then I will answer that question as well. Okay, looks like I've caught up on all the questions. Now, the next question is, we live in a world of phones, right? Everything is on phone. My Instagram is on phone, my news on phone, my email is on phone, Twitter is on phone. So I would assume that the dashboards also should be on the phone. I want people to look at my dashboard on the phone, right? So that early in the morning, if they have questions about sales or revenue, I don't want them to come in, open their computer, enter the username and password, open Salesforce instance, come to this dashboard. They should be able to be on a beach, sipping margaritas and open their phone and look what's going on with their sales. So how do we do that? Do I require iOS skills? Do I require some heavy coding skills? Absolutely not. So I'm going to click on edit, and I'm going to click on this default. So what happens with this default is, this is my default layout, and the default layout is designed for your desktop. But what I can do is I can do add layout, and I can call it mobile layout, and go here. And now I have different options. I have tablets, I have mobile, or I can build a completely custom layout as well. So I'm going to click on mobile, and let's not copy content. Okay. And I'm going to click on create. So when I do that, all my charts, actually I should have copied content just for the sake of time. So let's do that. Add layout. Let's do mobile layout V2, and I'm going to copy content. This is the fastest version. So when I click on copy content, why did it not do that? Let's see. Okay. All right. Anyways, so it should have copied content. It did not. But when you do that, you already have these queries. And really what you're doing right now is simply dragging and dropping things on this particular canvas. So I can go here, click here, say this is the same thing. I'll call it sales dashboard mobile layout, right? Although you'll not say that, but just for the purpose of today's session and to make it very clear, I can do that. And now I can simply drag and drop this here. This becomes my view. I can drag and drop this here. Let's make this bigger. I can drag and drop this here. Actually here. Make this bigger. And I think it was year over year, drag and drop this year and make this bigger as well. All right. So now when I click on this, this is my mobile layout. That's it. It literally took us less than 2 minutes to build a mobile layout. And when someone opens their phone and logs into the Salesforce app, opens up Analytics Studio, this is what they're going to see. When they come into the office and they open their desktop, they are going to see the default view, which is the view that you developed. And like I said, you did not write a single line of code. This was CRM doing the heavy lifting for you and creating a complete mobile layout without writing anything. And by the way, you can have different visuals. Like for example, let's say if you do not want a tabular view on your phone, you don't need to add it, right? Your mobile view can be completely different from your desktop view. So you can have two different visualizations, one for mobile and one for your desktop. So that brings me to the end of building your dashboard session. Let me answer Jalpa's question and then we'll get into answering other questions as well. So how would we subgroup categories like showing all types of furniture? Okay, so the way to do that is, and I'm guessing this is the right way, if not, we can always connect later. So again, I'm dragging and dropping this chart. Click here. I want sum of sales. I'm going to add category, and then I'm going to add a subcategory. Where did the sub? And there you go. This would give you furniture and you have grouped everything under that. And again, if you want different kinds of charts available, there's stack charts available, or you can simply click on suggested charts and it will give you different kinds of charts. I hope that helped. All right, looks like it did. Perfect. Awesome. We have last 10 minutes to answer any questions that you had. I know I may have gone fast. I tried to cover every single thing, but the floor is open. What questions can I answer? Can you take one session on deployment? Yes, absolutely. Why not? Deployment for analytics or deployment, Salesforce deployment? Different kinds of deployment techniques. Analytics components, not a problem. All right. Can you show me mobile dashboard one more time? Absolutely. All right. So the first step, you click on this default. I already have these two things, but I'm going to click on add layout and I'm going to say mobile, just give it a name. Mobile V3. And I'm going to click on create. And when it creates, it has copied all the content, which should have happened when we did session 2 as well. And because a checkbox was created. And now you can simply drag and drop any of these things. Did that help, Nina? Or if you tell me what, Shubham. Yes, all the sessions will be recorded. This skills required for Salesforce developer or not? It would be great if you have these skills, very, very honestly speaking, because as a Salesforce developer, we are talking about, at one point you start writing LWCs. When you start writing LWCs can query data sets. LWCs, you can embed these dashboards using LWCs, which is what a lot of customers are now doing. So it would be great if you can learn analytics along with your developer skills. All right, Jalpa has a question. Now they don't have data flow, so how can we convert into recipes? That's a very, very good question. I feel like we'll need more than one session for that. The easiest way is there is a beta conversion for data flows, which will convert it into recipes and will show you which steps have errors and then you can fix them. That's the easiest way, or you can start building from scratch. But I will table that as well. I'll add that to my list. All right, Abhinash, put more videos on SQL and binding. Yes, that's the plan, Abhinash. Thank you. Nice to see you here. So for people who did not who don't know what SAQL is, since we have enough time, let's double click on this. It's fine. When I double click on this, I told you there are 3 components to this thing. One is the chart mode, which allows us to do this. The second is a table mode, which is the pivot table. And then the third is query mode. So while you thought that, hey, I am not writing a single line of code, Salesforce is actually writing code for you. So when you click on this query mode, Salesforce wrote this entire piece of code for you. Okay. Now, there are certain times where you will not be able to do everything using drag and drop techniques. Just like in Salesforce, most of it can be done using drag and drop. But in order to further customize it, you may have to write a little bit of this code. And that's what Abhinash was referring to, was can we have a session on SAQL and binding? So again, that's something that we can certainly add. SAQL is a query language. So Salesforce's query language is called SOQL, which is very similar to SQL. Analytics has its own query language called SAQL, which is different than SQL or SOQL. It's not very complex. When you first look at it, it feels like it's complex. But once you get the hang of it, it's very easy to write. Thank you for all the ideas. I'll work with Akshay to see how we can work on those webinars. All right. What other questions do we have? Any course on SF Analytics? So right now there are 4 webinars on SF Analytics. The first webinar, again, we'll give you the link. This is the second webinar. There's going to be third webinar, which is going to be completely on machine learning. And then fourth webinar is going to be on ETL. Regarding the course on Salesforce Analytics or CRM Analytics, if you want to get certified, that is a question that Akshay can answer. Or if he doesn't have the answer, we can, of course, involve Prateek and ask him, if there are any plans from saasguru to release CRM Analytics course. All right. I hope you guys enjoyed this session. This was completely hands-on session. Like I said, if you have any questions, I will be 100% available on Slack. If you get stuck with anything, I'll be there to help you out. Yeah. Can I get the link to register for next Saturday course? Sure. Thank you, Omji. Can you show me one more time how you make the charts dependent on each other, like when clicking the product? Okay, yeah, super easy. I actually don't do anything. All I do is I click on preview. When I click on preview, you can click anywhere. So I can click on this furniture and things get filtered. If I want to go back, I can either click on this return to initial view, or I can simply click on the thing that I just have clicked on. So when I click on this, I get these things. All right. Can I get the link? Yes, Katrina, you will get the link. It should be on saasguru. Is that correct, Akshay?
So the link for the next webinar?
Yeah.
So yeah, on that note, Sujay, can you also show them how to check on the recording? So if you just log in into saasguru.
All right. And
so
then
if you click on live classes, yeah.
And
Just
previous
click
classes?
on previous classes to search for any of your first class, exploring CRM Analytics. There you can find, if you just click on view recording, you will find, yep. And to register for your upcoming class, just click on the upcoming class tab and you will find the option to register for that class. So we have 2 more classes, one on 28th and one on Feb 4th. You can register for both.
Yeah. and that is in upcoming classes. So you go here and these two. So simply click here and then click on register now. You should get a Zoom link. All right. Awesome. We have last 2 minutes left. Again, thank you so much. Jalpa, you said to make it dynamic, we need global filters. We only have 2 minutes left now. So let's do this. Let's table all the questions for the next session. I promise you, I'll not avoid this question, but in order to show some of these things like global filters, let's use the next session to actually do a live demo. Yashaswini, any course suggestions for students pursuing business analytics? Are you talking about the business analyst certification for Salesforce? Or are you talking about business analytics? Those are two different things. Can you show the dashboard again? Yes, here you go. Do you have trail mixes for SF Analytics? Absolutely. There are trail mixes. You can simply go on Trailhead. Let's actually do that. Trailhead, CRM Analytics, trail mix. This should be it. So let me put that in chat. Katrina has raised her hand. Hi, Katrina.
Yes, I'm not sure if I'm just very stupid or something, but this is my 4th time going to next week Saturday course, and I wasn't able to register. And every time I register, it bounced me back to the previous course. Like it's not letting, like I don't have a specific calendar reminder for next week, but I do have for the following weeks. So I don't know if something's setting that on your guys' end, or I don't know, but I know I registered for all 4, but I don't have all 4. I only, the only thing I'm missing is the coming Saturday. So I'm just wondering, is something wrong or?
Akshay, could we look at it, or can we send her the Zoom link directly?
Sure. So Katrina, what you can do is just join our Slack community and ping me. Just type in Akshana, you can find me there, and I can help you through the process. Is that okay, Katrina?
Thank you.
Thank you. For anyone
else,
else,
we are 1 minute over. I can keep talking about this. Yeah.
Yes.
Sorry,
if you have any other doubts, you can join our Slack community. You can ping Sujay directly. We have loads of channels there. You can go to book a mentor. For first 15 minutes is on Sujay and saasguru. Can take it. Please take advantage of that. And on general channel, you can ask your doubts. I'm sure a lot more gurus are there who can help you out on that.
All right. Awesome. Well, it was fantastic meeting all of you, and next week is going to be full of machine learning. So really excited about that. Thank you.